Right, good evening everybody and welcome to another edition of Under the Hood with Title Bout II. We had a really good reaction to our last video, so I decided to do another one and continue my own little universe here of boxing greats. And so tonight we'll have George Foreman defending his recently won title that he won against Ali in an 11th round TKO, and he will be taking on the number one contender, Rocky Marciano. So this should be a very interesting matchup. Two sluggers. The pundits are saying that if George Foreman can put Marciano to the mat early, that he should be able to win. But if the match goes beyond, say, the 9th or 10th round, then it will quickly switch to Marciano's favor. And that's because this is a young George Foreman. So this is a circa 1977 George Foreman. So he is a very tough, strong competitor, but he will get winded early. So we'll see what happens. It's scheduled for 15 rounds. We'll head down to the ring for the official call and see what happens. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If this is your first time watching a Under the Hood video or watching any of my AFR videos, thanks for checking us out. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat room, and I will try to answer them as well as I can. Otherwise, sit back and relax, and we're ready for 15 rounds of heavyweight championship excitement. So here we go. Fighting out of the red corner will be the challenger, Rocky Marciano. And fighting out of the blue corner will be the champion. This is his first title defense. It's Big George Foreman. Our referee for the night will be Joe Walcott. He is considered a lenient ref. So you can see here on our referee table, there are 4 different kinds of refs. Very lenient, normal, and strict. And that dictates how many warnings a ref will give before he starts taking points away from a boxer. So a lenient ref will give 4 warnings for the same foul before he deducts a point. So we'll see how that plays out. The other thing, I did a roll beforehand, gave each boxer a random cut man or corner man. George Foreman has an excellent corner man for this fight, and Rocky Marciano has a good one. So we'll see if that plays into the match here. The last thing we need to is figure out the endurance for each one. And sorry, I just realized that I did not put up the boxer cards on the screen here, so bear with me just 1 second. I will get those up for you, so you can follow along with these cards as we're going through the match. If you have not seen this game yet, this will give you kind of a good idea of what the boxer cards look like. Just because of my overhead camera, it's kind of hard to show the full or close up the cards and then also see the rest of the game board. So here, just a sec. Sorry about this, guys. I had to change the cards out from my last fight. All right, this should work here. Just a second. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we got George Foreman on the left of your screen, and then Rocky Marciano's card on the right. So there we go. You can see their stats. So the control factor is the what's going to dictate who controls or who potentially can control each mat or each section of the fight. And so you'll see that it's broken up into 2. So Big George Foreman has a 9/12 up the first box in the top left corner of his card. And what that means is his control factor versus a boxer or a slugger. So both of these are sluggers. So he has a control factor of 12 versus a slugger, and Marciano has a control factor of 11. And when it's a 12 and 11, there's a conversion chart in the book. And so it'll get reduced to a 10 and a 9. And so you'll see very quickly what that looks like as we get right into the action. Welcome everyone who is joining us in the chat room. I see Dave and Tom Zupa here. Tom, Tom, are you close to Medfield, Massachusetts? He's saying he might have to hop in a car and pay off an usher. Yeah, it looks like there's a few seats left in the back of the arena. So, all right, so here we go. The bell rings for round number 1. Oh, sorry, the last thing we will need to do is figure out the endurance. So you'll see that it's the 4th column down on the top left. George Foreman has a 75, and that's his endurance for 10 rounds. And so for 5 rounds, we will just, he has a 7.5 for each round. So we'll add that up, and let's see, I'm gonna have to do math really quick. Let's see. And then Rocky Marciano, his endurance is 140, so he is most likely not going to get gassed tonight on his let's see, where'd my calculator go? But you'll see that George Foreman most likely will. Oh my gosh, where did my all right, sorry about this, guys. I usually have these ones written out first, but let's see. So 7.5 times 5, 35, 37. So he's going to add 38 to 75. So it's going to be 100 and let's see, 113 will be Foreman's endurance for the round, or for the match. And then for Marciano, he's going to have a base of 140, and then add, let's see, add 14 for 5 more rounds. So he'll add 70. So he's going to have a endurance of 210. Wow. I guess he was the Rock for a reason. All right, so there we go. So you'll see, Foreman with an endurance starting of 113 and Marciano with an endurance of 210. So that's why Foreman, he will need to take the fight early. Otherwise, he's going to be exhausted. And when a boxer is exhausted or fatigued, then all of their ratings switch to the right side of the card, which you'll see in the top on the right side of the card. And their control factor drops. Sometimes their aggression will drop. They're more apt to be knocked down. So we'll see what happens. Scheduled for 15 rounds. So here we go. So flip over the first card. And so the first thing we're going to look at, actually, sorry, for the very first control of the round, it'll go by aggression rating. So both of these boxers have an aggression rating of 10. Nobody has won a round so far. So actually what we're going to do is get a random number for each boxer, and whoever has the highest one is going to be in control for the beginning of this round. So George Foreman gets a random number of 10, and Marciano gets a random number of 23. So he's going to come out in control to start things off. And then the rest of the match, it's going to go by who won the last round. All right, so here we go. Marciano in control, and we get a random number of 12. So we'll look at his punches landed range, and that easily falls within it. And so he will land a punch. We'll flip over the next card, go to the result. The result is a 24, and you see on his card that means that it's a 2-point hook. So Marciano is on the board first, gets the first hit. And now we will do a control check. So Marciano has a control of 9. The control factor here is 16, so he's not in control. We'll go to Foreman. His control is 10, so he does not get control. Marciano, no. Foreman in control for the first time. And we get a result, or a random number of 75, so that's going to be ring movement. So he's trying to back Marciano either into the corner, into the ropes, and he gets him onto the near ropes. So what happens, that means that now his control factor is going to go up by 2 while he has Marciano against the rope. So his control will be 12 for now. So next control check, Foreman can't get control, Marciano no, Foreman no, Marciano, Foreman gets control, and we get a random number of 59. That's going to be clinching, so the ref will step in, break that up. Another control check, Foreman, Marciano, and then Foreman back in control, and this time he's going to hit 27, land well within his punch range, and the result is a 42, so that's going to be a 3-point cross. So Foreman on the board with 3 points. Let's see, Ray Gossman has joined us. Have I paired Marciano with any other boxers? Yes, he had a bout against Spinks, Leon Spinks, and he, well, it was kind of funny. He knocked down Spinks, or Spinks got, he got knocked down by Spinks, I should say. In the first round, it was just a quick knockdown, and then he came out in the next round and just completely obliterated Spinks and got a TKO in the second round. All right, so Foreman control check. He wins it. Let's see, this will be another clinch. Foreman can't keep control. Marciano back in control. He will land another punch, and it's a 12. So that is a 3-point hook. So he's up to 5 points now. Marciano can't keep control. Foreman does. He's still got Marciano against the ropes. All right, so now the random number is 35. So now normally this would be a missed punch, and actually it would be a missed punch with Marciano a chance to counterpunch. However, you'll see the defensive rating for Marciano, it's the second column in the top left. It's a 4, and that gets added to his opponent's punches landed range. So for this fight, Foreman's punches landed range is going to be 1 to 36 instead of 1 to 32. So this is actually going to be a landed punch. And it's a result of 25. It'll be a 3-point hook. So Foreman now with 6 points on the round. He stays in control, has Marciano against the ropes. Oh, and this is a... so now with a random number of 7, you look in the punches landed column for Foreman, and after it there is a number in parentheses. And what that is, that's his knockdown power. So his chance of landing a super strong punch with a chance to send his opponent to the mat. If it's equal to that, or the random number, if it's equal to it or under it, we'll flip it over, and we're going to look at the KD number instead of the result. And it's an 18, and then we'll go to our game board. So over here an 18, and then look at Marciano's KD rating on his card. It's a 1. The slash means the first time he gets knocked down, and then the second time, the first number is before he gets knocked down in a round. The second number would be if he gets knocked down 1 or more times in rounds. So KD, the random number is 18. KD of 1, it's going to be a 5-point punch that Foreman lands. So he's now up to 11. And a 5-point punch triggers what's called a killer instinct. So this means that he has, he's stunned Marciano and has a chance to hit a flurry and perhaps send him to the mat. So his killer instinct, it's the third column down on the top left. It's a 9, so we're going to count out 9 cards. And what's going to happen during this killer instinct is that Foreman is automatically in control. So we'll flip these over and we'll just go right to the random number instead of a control check. So this first one, it's going to land a punch. Result is 37, so it's a 2-point punch. He's now up to 13. The next one is a 49, so that's clinching. Nothing going on there. Next one is a 28. That will be a punch landed. Excuse me, random number, or the result is 44. So that's a 3-point cross. Up to 16. 40. That is going to be a punch missed. Let's see. So I'm actually doing a, I'm going to try it this time, and that each punch missed is going to additionally subtract from the endurance from a boxer. So I'll show you how that works in between rounds. So punch missed. Next one is going to be a punch landed. Let's see, a 30 is a 3-point hook. And finally, another punch lands. That ends the killer instinct. And we'll go to the results. 72, that's going to be a 3-point uppercut. So now Foreman is up to 22 points. If he can get to 30, it's a TKO for the round, and that the ref will say that the boxer has had enough. And I'm just realizing that I'm cutting off part of the card. Here, let's see, what if I... Alright, so now we'll go back to a control check. So Marciano's still up against the ropes. Foreman controls. Let's see, if 58, that's going to be clinching. Foreman stays in control. Oh, and that's going to be another powerful punch that's landed. So again, we'll go to the KD. It's 11 with a KD of 1 on Marciano. So it's a 4-point punch. Oh, he's up to 26 points now. Uh-oh. Marciano in trouble. Foreman stays in control. Oh, and this is going to be a foul. So we are potentially a foul. So we'll roll. The random number is a 46. His foul rating is a C. Let's see, that's not going to be anything. The referee just motions to keep the punches up. And this will be the last card of the round. Foreman controls, but the bell rings. So Big George Foreman comes out on fire. Scores 26 points. Marciano hit 5. Let's see. So the endurance for Foreman is going to go down the 5 points that Marciano landed, and then also plus -1 for that missed punch. So he's going to lose 6. So he goes down to 107. Marciano is 26 points. So he's going to be down to, let's see, 200, 190, 184. And the round's going to automatically go to Foreman, points-wise. He beat him by 21 points. So all the judges give it unanimously to Foreman, 10-8. And because Marciano suffered more than 25 points, he may have a problem with how beat up he got. So we'll shuffle this half of the deck. We'll flip it over, and we're just going to look at the condition. So there we go. There's puffiness beginning to show around the fighter's right eye. No effect. Swelling stage 1. So I'll get my handy dandy tokens here. And Marciano, let's see, so he'll have puffing or swelling stage 1 on his right eye. There's a chance if that continues, or if he gets beat up some more, that swelling may affect him and may cause a TKO later. But for now, he'll come out and we'll move on to round 2. So here we go. So this time Foreman will control the at the opening bell. Oh, and welcome Bob Hansen to the chat room, and thank you for becoming a sponsor in the chat room. That's great, Bob. Thank you, I appreciate it. Let's see. D. Scott Howard is also joining us. Oh, I'll reset the things here. So yes, if you're just joining us, it was round one was all George Foreman. Marciano hit a couple shots, but Foreman got Marciano up against the ropes, and then just went to town. And Marciano survived the onslaught, but he has now swelling over his or around his right eye, so his trainers will definitely be keeping an eye on that, so to speak. All right, so here we go. Foreman in control in the opening bell of round two. The round number is 45, so that will be a punch missed. Now we'll go back to the control checks. Foreman doesn't control. Marciano does. Let's see, 44. He's going to swing and miss. Another control check. Marciano does not. Foreman does not. Marciano. Foreman finally in control. Oh, but it's a potential foul, but it's 37, so ref says no foul, keep fighting. Foreman in control. Uh-oh, and it's another power punch. Let's see. 16. Well, so it's going to be a 5-point punch. And we're going to have another killer instinct. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the game plan for Foreman. He needed to come out on fire and put Marciano away early if he wants to hang on to his belt. And that is exactly what he's doing here. So first card. Oh, maybe a foul. 61. Let's see. The ref gestures to his forehead. Watch the headbutting. Next one, 11. Oh, so another powerful punch. This time KD of 4, so that's going to be a 4-point punch landed. Let's see, 57 is going to be clinching. 78 is ring movement. He gets Marciano up against the ropes again. Another power punch. But it's a 4-point punch, so he's up to 13. That ends the killer instinct. But he scored 13 points and now has Marciano up against the rope, so it's not looking good for Rocky. Foreman controls. Maybe a foul. No, the ref says keep going. Nothing here. Foreman still in control. Random number 18, so he lands a punch. And it's 1 PB, so that means that Marciano was able to partially block it. Let's see. Joe Besterman has joined us in the chat room. Welcome, Joe. He's saying I'm still a little gun shy about this game. I'll give it a go soon. Yeah, I was a little hesitant when I first saw this game, with all the numbers all over the cards and everything. But I have to say that once you get into it, it really does flow really well. I'm kind of a sucker for games that use fast action cards. In this game, it definitely it flows along really, really well once you get the hang of it. So, all right, so let's see. Foreman does not control. Marciano does, trying to fight off the ropes. And there he does. He gets ring movement. So when someone's up against the ropes or in the corner and they get ring movement, they automatically move it out to the ring center. But he can't stay in control. Foreman, no. Marciano in control again. 39. That's going to be a miss. His second miss of this round, but he stays in control. Let's see, 69 rig movement. So he gets Foreman backed up into the far corner. So now his control is 11. But that won't do it. Foreman, no. Marciano. Foreman in control. Let's see, 36. That's going to hit. And let's see, 44, so a 3-point cross. Let's see, so 17 points and potentially a cut. So we see that the cut rating for Marciano is a 5. Flip the card over and get a random number of 29. Look at the cut chart, and it'll be no cut. All right, Foreman controls. Oh, and it's another powerful punch landed. But fortunately, it's a 4-point punch. Let's see. So he's up to 21 points. And then he's gonna control. He's gonna control again, but then the bell rings, and actually Marciano is gonna be saved by the bell there because just a couple more points, and it would have been a TKO. So a TKO can happen if 30 points are scored against in one round or 50 in 2 rounds. So with 21 points scored there, he was at 47. So he just needed 3 more. But Marciano is also going to be on the ropes because if 60 points are scored over 3 rounds, it's also a TKO. So this match might end pretty soon. So let's see. It was 21. Oh, and I reset his. I don't think Marciano landed a punch. I moved the the things back first. I think it was 21-0. All right, so let's see. So Marciano is down to 163. And then he's going to lose another 2 for those 2 missed punches. So he's down to 161. Foreman goes down to 106 because he had 1 missed punch. Won by 20 points, so it's going to be another 10-8 round. So Foreman way ahead on points after 2 rounds. And also has Marciano on the ropes, literally and figuratively, to get an early TKO here. So let's see, he has 47, so if he gets 13, the ref is going to step in and say that he has seen enough and end the match. So Marciano needs to do something here, even if he just kind of becomes a shell to try to make it through this round and sort of reset the TKO clock. So let's see what happens. George Foreman in his first title defense here after he kind of stunned the world in his rematch that he never got in real life against Ali, and with a 11th round TKO, and he would love to hold on to his title here. So here we go, round 3. Foreman's going to start in control. And, maybe a foul. 61. Let's see. No, ref gestures to his forehead, says watch the headbutting. Foreman stays in control. We're going to have ring movement, but they will stay in the ring center. Marciano shrugs them off. Foreman stays in control. 48 is going to be clinching. Foreman in control again. And, it's going to be another powerful punch landed. 4-pointer. And let's see, is that all he needed? 40. Oh no, he needed 13. Okay. Foreman, no. Marciano takes control for the first time. Ring movement, but no, they'll stay in the ring center. Marciano can't stay in control. Foreman takes it back, sees an opening, but they will clinch. Walcott steps in, breaks him up. Foreman back in control. And it's going to be another hard punch. Let's see, 9-1, so a 4-point punch. He's up to 8. He needs to get to 13 for the TKO. Crowd on its feet. Marciano staggering. Foreman in control. It's going to be another powerful punch. 17, so it's going to be 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's right at the TKO thing here. Well, let's let him do his or start his killer instinct, and if he lands one more punch, that's going to be it, and that's going to do it. He's going to hit 3-point cross. The referee steps in, and that's it, folks. Big George Foreman, he was a man on a mission. He knew that he needed to come out and put away Marciano early, and that is exactly what he did. Let's see here. Get you the exact time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so at a minute 28 in the third round, the referee, Joe Walcott, has called a TKO. And Big George Foreman is is still your world heavyweight champion. Wow, how about that? That was everything everything went right for George Foreman, and nothing went right for Marciano. Wow. Wow. Well, so there we go, folks. That's sometimes that's what happens. So actually, as sort of a follow up to my first video of Foreman against Ali, obviously that match took place a little bit before my time. I think I was only maybe 3 years old when the Rumble in the Jungle happened. 2 years old, maybe. So I looked up some history about that, and I guess there was some controversy behind what happened in that bout. And Foreman claimed that the ropes were not tightened enough, and that allowed Ali to have to really get his rope-a-dope defense going. And then Ali sort of ducked Foreman and never gave him the rematch that he really wanted. And so we never got to see, George Foreman get his chance again. So, young George Foreman was definitely a power to be reckoned with. And so there we go. I have to say, I really thought that Marciano was going to win this match. But as they say, that's why you that's why you play the game, right? So there we go. George Foreman, third round TKO, retains his title. And we will have to search for another #1 contender. So I believe that we're probably going to have to do a Ali Foreman 3 just to satisfy all the fans. So that's going to be our next match. Ali will get his shot to reclaim his belt. And that's going to take place not next week, but the following week. So next week, AFR is on vacation. The family and I are going down to Cape Cod, so there will most likely not be any shows going on. That's why I've had a full schedule this week to get you guys some gaming goodness heading into the end of June. But yeah, so there'll be no shows next week, and then stay tuned for when the next match will go up, and it's going to be George Foreman Ali 3 for the heavyweight championship. So there we go, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed it. There's links in the video description below if you want to learn more about this game. Right now, it is in the midst of a reprint. What's going to be called version 1.5 of the game. So the game board is going to be reworked a little bit. It's actually going to be a smaller board. It's going to be a 15 by 15 instead of 20 by 20. A couple other just little minor cosmetic things will be happening, but those should be coming, I think, in a couple months that they will be coming out. But go to the website. There's also a Facebook page for Title Bout II, and the designer Jim Trunzo is very active on there. So if you have any questions about the game, please feel free to post on there. And otherwise, stay tuned for more Title Bout matches here on the channel. I have to say, this is a game that really kind of completely took me by surprise, and I absolutely love it. And it is now a mainstay in my gaming rotation. So I will continue to do Title Bout II matches, and especially once the new version comes out, I will be showcasing that on the channel as well. So. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, my name is Steve. Get out there, have fun, play games, and I will see you after further review. Have a good night, everybody.